Welcome back. Now, there was a time when if you wanted to get a premium SUV, you could either choose from the Honda CR-V or the Honda CR-V. But with the passage of time came competition and rapidly escalating petrol prices, which meant that suddenly no one wanted the CR-V anymore. Now, Honda is looking to remedy that situation with the 2013 version. Here's Kailash Menon to tell you if you should be excited about the all-new CR-V.
This is the all-new CR-V. Yes, it's done away with the cute pug-like front face. The new one's got squinty HID headlamps, an angry snout, and a sharper face. The side profile is also not overtly curvy or coupe-like. The backside, however, is a bit too safe and boring. And though it's smaller by 30 mm, it does look bigger than the previous one. Styling is still unmistakably CR-V, and so is the stuff under the bonnet. So the folks at Honda thought if it ain't broke, why fix it? So it's got the same set of engines, the 2-litre two-wheel drive version and the 2.4-litre all-wheel drive version. But here's the thing, they have tuned both these engines to put out more power. So what I'm driving today is a full-fat 2.4-litre petrol that puts out 187 bhp. Now remember, that's close to a 28 bhp jump compared to the previous one. As far as the torque goes, 226 Newton meters at 4400 RPM. Now, that's not too shabby now, is it? Most of the time the power is fed to the front wheels, but the moment traction tapers off, the all-wheel drive kicks in. The sad part, however, is that the 2.4-litre comes with an automatic gearbox only, and the 5-speed auto box, to be quite honest with you, is a bit of a mood kill. I mean, it hugs on to every gear till about 6500 RPM, and the downshifts aren't dramatic either. I mean, the only saving grace, if you don't want to be at the mercy of technology, you could flap away the paddle shifters, which do make the drive a wee bit more fun. But here's the thing, if you don't care too much about a bigger engine or the all-wheel drive prowess, I suggest you go and put your money down on the 2-litre 6-speed manual transmission. So the 5-speed auto box is a bit slow, but making up for that is the extra bhp on tap. Now the bonus 28 bhp is felt the most when you push the pedal down to the mat. I mean, despite its weight, this thing just hurls itself forward with a sense of urgency. And you know the best bit, this engine loves to be revved, and the sporty thrum that comes out of the tailpipe is pure melody. Here, listen to this. So it shrieks like a sports sedan, but does it handle like one too? Now this is no exaggeration, the CR-V drives better than a lot of sedans out there. I mean, you chuck it into a corner and it hugs and holds its line. I mean, it's not only effortless to drive, but it's a lot more engaging too. I mean, all thanks to the single shell construction and the low slung stance. Bottom line, this is a car clad in SUV clothing, and I mean it as a compliment. The suspensions are sorted too. At high speeds, it doesn't bounce or bob as much as the last one. And then there's the steering wheel, which is pretty light. So the good news really is you don't have to labor through to negotiate bumper-to-bumper traffic or slot this hunk into tight parking spaces. The downside, however, on the highway at high speeds, the steering wheel fails to load up. As a result, it feels a bit vague, a bit too disconnected, which is a bit of a glitch. The top end trim gets tech toys like the touchscreen audio-video navigation system. Now the interiors of the CR-V are pretty plush. For starters, you get seats and the steering wheel clad in good quality leather. The wheel feels nice and chunky, on which you got your audio controls and your cruise control paddle shifters at the back and your phone controls. As far as the fit and finish of the plastic goes, all of it is hard plastic. No soft touch material has been used. The good news, however, the beige is out of the picture. The brown and the matte aluminum finish looks pretty smart. And check this thing out. Honda is very concerned about your hydration, so they've not given one, not two, but 3 drink holders. As far as storage space and cubbies are concerned, you got one deep one up here. You got a sunglass holder up here, which is pretty utilitarian, and a glove box, which is a bit too tight. And it's got rear seats that fold with a flick of a finger. Now the CR-V doesn't have a gimmicky third row of seating, but what it has, and has in plenty, is a lot of room. You got a big boot, and just in case if you need more, let's say you and your wife are headed to the hills with camping gear, mountain bikes and everything, all you got to do is pull these nifty levers and it makes space for all. Another thing, it's got a low loading lift, so just in case you got heavy luggage or heavy suitcases, plonking them into the CR-V is an easy task. The best bit, all the models get airbags, ABS and EBD as standard equipment. Price tag you ask? The 2-litre CR-V retails at 20 lakhs and the top-end AVN model will set you back by 24,43,000 rupees. So, should you buy one? So here's the deal. If you're not particularly stuck up on buying a diesel SUV and you want an SUV that's got space, style, snob value, a petrol engine that comes with Honda's bomb-proof reliability, it doesn't get any better than this.
He might have a reputation for being a chocolate boy, but Bollywood star Imran Hashmi is actually quite a petrolhead. We caught up with the star for a little chat.
Hi, this is Imran Hashmi, and well, this is a car that I picked up 6 months back. It's Audi A8. I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to get a lot of car magazines, and there was a huge fascination with a lot of cars that I, particularly probably Ferrari, Lamborghini, Audi being one of them, and yeah, just wanting to own one day. There was a Fiat that my dad owned, and this was during my school days. This is, I think, when I was in the 7th or the 8th standard, and yeah, I had to learn how to drive, and obviously I was a bit underage at that time. I had my friends probably teaching me alone in the night when there were no cars. You know, bit by bit, I slowly got the gears and stuff. My first paycheck, I bought a Hyundai, what is it, Accent. I bought an Accent. And I bought a Honda Accord, which is, I think, 2 years after my career started off. My first luxury car purchase was a BMW, a Q7. I own a Q7, an A8, which I purchased right now, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It was very interesting. During murder, I didn't know how to ride a bike, and I had specially learned a bit before that because I knew how to ride a bike. And my cousin Mohit knew about it a bit, and we kind of used to toy around on my dad's bike. We almost dropped it a couple of times. We did drop it a couple of times. Sorry, Dad. And in that film, it's very funny because you won't see me turn. It's only in a straight line. I couldn't turn the damn thing, and I couldn't probably get over the second gear. And I used to tell the director Anurag, they just roll the camera on the second gear because I can't switch. Recently, when I shot for a film right now, which is an international film, I was riding it was kind of very old, you know, motorcycle that was sold in India, and I kind of liked it. It was kind of vintage, old motorcycle. Didn't start very easily. It took like 5 minutes to start the damn thing, but there's something about it. So I think, yeah, probably pick up a couple of vintage motorcycles. I would buy a Boeing. I would buy. I think I'd buy a Ferrari Italia. I would buy a Lamborghini Aventador. I would buy. I don't know, an R8, a Porsche 911. Yeah. So this is a film that's about witches. It's got a very interesting character that I'm playing of that of a magician, an illusionist, and how when he was a young boy in his childhood years, there was a woman who came, a very charismatic woman who came and stayed in this building, and he always thought that she was a Dian. Later on, after 30 years, she comes back in his life to haunt him. So yeah, it's a very interesting tale about that. I would say first abide by the law. Don't get your license before you turn your legal age. drive safely. Don't ever drink and drive. That's something I've never done, and I wouldn't recommend that to anyone.
And that was our show for this week. It's great to be back, and we had a really good time making it. As always, you can catch the entire episode at timesnow.tv or youtube.com. Till next week then, ciao and take care.